Hi, it's Wes C again, back with part 6 of my Crag hack playthrough. So once again I've been fortunate to draw an opponent who is relatively, well, quite a bit higher than me in ELO ranking, so this will be a good match to win. I've got a pretty reasonable starting hand this time as the second player. Putting down 5 damage on turn 2 is always pretty nice. So the good thing about this hand as well against a Darimia player is that I've got quite a lot of high health creatures, so I'll be relatively unaffected by insect swarm. However, of course, Forbidden Flame is probably going to happen at some point. So the Wandering Bard in this case has probably picked him up a Doom Bringer. That's sort of the most likely creature. I mean, Doom Bringer is good against a rush deck, but it is conditional. He needs to have the event in play which lets him sacrifice it. So I'll keep that in mind and try not to get totally mangled. I've got a choice here of whether or not to use my altar to get through an extra 4 damage right away, but I think I elected not to go with it, mostly because it would have meant that I couldn't play another Tainted Orc on the same turn. Alright, so now he's going to absolutely have the Forbidden Flame in his hand. So just simply smashing in for as much damage as I can, while I can, is the right play. I actually missed the fact that he'd played the the quick attack removing card there and played my Deathseeker for no benefit. But I wasn't gonna use the resources for anything else anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So the fear creature is something of a problem, but fortunately I have the sacrificial altar in my hand, so I should be able to push through it. And I also have a stampede and 2 cheap creatures, so it does look pretty good. Whether to actually play the serpent fly there or hold on to it for additional stampede to use the Stampede is a question, but it looks like I'm going to be able to afford to play Stampede pretty much whatever creature I draw. So he's drawn pretty well to be able to stay alive here. However, the fact that I'm on 20 health with 3 damage in my hand means that it's going to be pretty tough for him to manage to kill me before I draw into either an extra Stampede or push through for just an extra couple of hits. So that was a good turn for him. He's managed to He's managed to pull it back. So being able to kill the lurker there and have my orc survive is quite a big deal. And the shredder in play means it's pretty likely I'll be able to push through at least 2 more damage. So it's getting tight now. He's done well to play into some big creatures. However, he's going to be only at 5 life after this. So given that I know I'm going to be drawing a card, doing it first leaves me maximum options of deciding what to play. So I'll start off with 4 damage. I've got a choice here of whether to attack into his 5/9 creature. But I think I make the right play here of moving my guy down to threaten the lurker, and then to fill the board up with threats. Holding the assassin here is important for the stampede effect. If I draw another one, which is kind of one of my plans to win at this point, is I can just simply keep dumping out blockers in front of his big guys. And with only about 25 cards in my deck, drawing 2 a turn, I should hopefully in the next few turns pick up a second stampede. I mean, ideally I'll be able to push through the damage. Drawing a sacrificial altar will probably be enough to win as well. One of the main problems with control decks in this game is the lack of life gain effects, and the fact that it's very hard to prevent an opponent from just pushing through those last couple of damage. In this situation, I've literally got about 7 or 8 cards to draw that will make it impossible for him to stop me. Yeah, so the Doombringer that I thought he had all along, came into play there, and has kept him alive. However, once again, the advantage of active versus reactive cards is showing up here, because he's got a hand of probably mostly reactive hands. And there's a stampede, so that was a fortunate draw. But in reality, being on 20 life still, I was going to have quite a few turns to draw into something to win. Thanks, see you next game.